Welcome to Tete-a-Tete, a head-to-head conversation about how to get more bang for your buck when utilizing flower bulbs in your garden landscape. And now, celebrating their 125th year as a family business, here are your hosts, Brent and Jay Hutchins.
Well, hey there, everybody. Thanks for joining us for another edition of Tete-a-Tete. My name is Jay Hutchins, General Manager of Brent and Becky's. And sitting right across the way from me is this guy right here.
Well, hello. How are you today?
Doing good.
Doing great.
Doing great. Yeah. Welcome back. You're fresh in from Mance.
Mid-Atlantic Nurseryman's Trade Show, where we connected with lots of old friends, customers, and met a lot of new, interesting nursery professionals.
Good.
So it was a great, very successful couple of days.
Very nice.
Got
Good.
a lot of hugs, but had a great meeting.
Good. I had a topic in mind to discuss today, and it tends to be something that we get comments and questions on during the early part of fall, or sometimes we get it either right about now or early spring, like Daffodil Festival time. Okay, here's the scenario. It's September, and we have a cold spell run through a part of the country, and it happens.
It does. It's part of the good Lord's plan.
Yeah.
Keeps us humble.
Or about this time of year, someone goes, oh, shoot, I just found. Well, what happens is the people in the early fall go, where are my bulbs? It's cold. And then in the spring or late winter, people will say, I found this bag of bulbs. Is it too late? Can we talk about, let's go with the first one in the fall.
Sure.
And talk about that one first, about that panic of it has just turned cold. And then can you explain about the timing that
Sure.
they've got? Okay.
Sure. The way most spring flowering bulbs work is they're montane plants. So they're used to cold climates. And they actually need a cold winter in order for them to vernalize or the bloom to develop. But many people panic when they begin to get a forecast of cold weather coming, and basically it's when they should begin to think about planting their bulbs. Soil temperatures at 6 inches, which most bigger daffodils and tulips go, actually want to be about 60 degrees or below, all the way down to freezing, so the bulbs will make roots. They don't root above 60 degrees, so often if people plant them too early, they often tend to sprout too early, and then we get another issue with the foliage coming up early. But in any event, often they panic. If they're way far up north in zone 2 or 3, well, they should plant them in September probably.
Yeah.
And we do our best to get them out to those customers. I think we fill the orders by zip codes, which relate to the plant zones they're in.
North to south.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So.
Well, just like the other day, here in Virginia, we had a day. I guess it was maybe yesterday. We were around 60 degrees yesterday.
It's that now outside again.
And I made the comment that, man, I might want to make sure I've got gas in the boat and the battery is good to go and go for a boat ride because it's just that nice outside.
It is lovely.
And so that panic of we have a cold spell.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's all over.
Yeah, that's correct. Now, I just got a phone call just as I walked back in the office from a customer who had gotten her bulbs, and she had not planted them yet. And she wanted to know if it was too late. And I said, no, it's never too late. It's never too late, actually. After a certain point, the bulbs may think, am I ever going to get in the ground? And they may abort their blooms for that season, but they'll still grow.
Right.
Okay? But she was concerned because the bulbs were sprouting. She found the bulbs that she'd not yet planted. She got them about Thanksgiving time. And they were sprouting. And she said, oh, should I cut the leaves off? No, those are the solar collectors. They need to continue to grow, and it won't hurt. This is the time of the year when cold comes. They begin to start, and if it's been cold and it gets warm, they start to grow a bit. And if they come up too soon and you get cold down in the low teens, you're expecting some really hard freeze, just pile some mulch, light mulch up around them, and that'll protect them. But it's amazing. Once they make their roots, it's like they have antifreeze in them.
Nice.
So bulbs don't freeze in this climate, really,
Yeah.
once they've made their roots. But
That's
it's
right.
important when you do plant them, if the soil is dry, to water, so they will initiate roots quickly.
Right, and that's just to protect the foliage. That's not necessarily keeping the bulb from freezing, because it's hard to do now
That's right.
with the roots in place.
That's right.
Because I've got some coming up, that patch in my backyard that's by the fence
Yeah.
line. That is the most robust group of daffodils, and they're already on their way up now.
Well, it's a great spot, and that's some that I planted over 50 years ago.
Wow.
There.
Yeah, it's part of the old daffodil field.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So they've been there for 50 years. That's great soil where you built your house.
Yeah, that is.
We worked on building that with compost and leaves and things over the years, and it's a nice, well-drained site. So they're doing beautifully there, and
Full sun.
that's correct.
And I leave the foliage after they're done. I have to mow around the foliage, mow around it until they start to yellow, and then I just go ahead and take them down.
That's correct, because when the green goes, they're losing the chlorophyll, which is what captures the sunlight, which takes carbon out of the air, which then combines it with minerals and moisture from the soil, and makes the starches and sugars that go back down to the battery, the bulbs, the leaves, the solar collectors, the bulbs, the battery.
Yeah.
When they begin to turn yellow, they're no longer charging anymore.
Now, some people say that it's unsightly to see this foliage just sitting there and aging, but one of the greatest things that this happened. This may have even happened before Van was born.
That's a couple of years ago, too.
Yeah, we're coming on 18 years ago.
Yeah.
We were at Chanticleer,
Okay.
and they had this lawn-like area that had this rectangle of spring blooming bulb material, a mix of a bunch of different things. And the blooms were done, and then there was grass around it in this rectangular area with their sidewalks outside of that. So the grass that was between the sidewalks and the spring bulb foliage was sitting there. They cut the grass next to the spring bulbs at about 3.5 inches tall,
Okay.
and then they one mower width around, and then they mowed next to it at about 2.5 or 3 inches tall. So what they had was short grass all the way around, but the taller grass framing the spring bulbs. And to me, that said, we understand, we know.
That's right.
And I thought that was just a brilliant move on their part.
Do you know, you surprise me all the time. You remember that? Oh boy.
Well-
And you see, I vaguely remember going up there and seeing that. But boy, that's you and your mother. You remember awesome things.
Well, because it just struck me as a silent message.
Indeed.
They relayed the idea of, yes, we understand that these are done. We are leaving it here on purpose to photosynthesize, and just framing it in taller grass said to the observer, yep.
It's the artist's garden, and it's one of the ultimate gardens in the country. And
Yeah.
they did art by doing what you're talking about.
Exactly right.
That was
and
awesome.
It really
Neat.
is, and it's one of my favorite gardens in the whole country. Anyway, let's talk about the other extreme. You know, here I am in the tent during the Daffodil Festival, which this year is towards the end of March.
Right.
Without a doubt, somebody's going to walk up and go, I got these bulbs in the garage that I haven't done anything with. Happens all the time. So let's talk about the other side of the bookends.
Yep.
I forgot. What do they do?
Well, hopefully their garage is an unheated one, and these bulbs need a cool period to vernalize for the blooms to develop in the bulb, and hopefully they haven't dried out too much. But you tell them to go home, and this afternoon stick them in the ground.
That's right. Put them in.
It's not too late, because those bulbs will root. If they've given up their blooms for that year, they abort when they're distressed. They will bloom next year if the foliage comes up and keeps charging the bulbs to the batteries. So plant them as soon as possible. And I often say this afternoon or next, and next hour when you get off the phone is not too late.
Yeah, get on out there. And I usually tell them if it crumbles in your hand, just dry and crumbly, or it goes squish,
That's right.
you're done. Otherwise, it got some weight to it, right?
If it's like a ping pong ball, it's gone.
Yeah.
If it's like a golf ball, weight-wise, and not squishy, it's just fine.
Yeah, should put them in the ground.
Yep.
So it's better than just wasting it.
That's
Go
right.
ahead and stick them in. I mean,
That's
you
right.
already paid the money for them. Go ahead and give it a shot.
That's right.
You know, and you just mentioned that they will abort the blooms when they're distressed. I think every time I hear that, that is the most fascinating statement, because a plant that supposedly has no brains, no feelings.
Wait a minute. I think they do have brains.
I think so too.
Absolutely.
I think they do. How does, this plant is distressed, and it says, so I can continue to live, I won't waste energy making this flower.
You hit it right on the head. Exactly. And it, not distressed, but just stressed.
Oh, stressed.
And, we get stressed and we tend to catch a cold.
Right.
Bulbs get stressed and they tend to catch a fungus.
Yeah.
Or sometimes if they don't catch the fungus, they abort that thing they'd spend a lot of energy on to keep them going, just like you said.
It's crazy to think that a plant is that intelligent or that well designed. Maybe that's the better word.
Well, we think a lot of us. I think you're pretty intelligent. But the Lord created you, and He created these plants too, and He has a plan of action for them. And, if we try to meet their needs, they're going to thrive and be wonderful for many years. And
I agree. And I even saw a study recently, speaking of smart plants, that a study was done where an insect that wants to invade this tree and begin to eat it and do everything, it's an enemy to the tree. Once the tree detects that this insect is in place, it releases a different gas out of its leaves that goes towards the other trees. The trees detect that one of them is in danger, and they begin to put up their defenses.
They do indeed. So
what? It is crazy how smart.
Well, this world that we're a part of is so complex, and we think we're all important. But boy, the whole system, symbiotic nature of plants and animals is so amazing. Unfortunately, we're becoming apart from this organization of the earth, and gardening hopefully helps get people to begin to look at it and realize, oh, wow, well, I can do this to help. Oh,
right.
Yeah. I'd like to leave it better than I found it.
Absolutely. And don't get in there and just mess something up.
That's
right? Because he just said, we think we're so important. But all of this was here before us and did just
indeed.
Fine without us. Don't get in there and try to mess anything up.
Indeed.
Well, Brent, thanks so much for coming in today and sharing a little bit about bulb planting timing and what to do. Appreciate it.
And I enjoy doing this with you, Jay, and I'm
Good.
so happy the next generation is so observant and,
Well,
I enjoy doing this with you.
Good.
Enjoying being part of the team.
Well, get out there. Let's see. That's just the afternoon. You got tons of time.
We have more bulbs to plant.
Okay. Well, it's a good day for planting.
If it doesn't rain in the morning, we'll be planting them at our church.
Ooh.
But it looks like it's going to rain.
Yeah,
so we may plant them
rain.
Sunday afternoon.
Nice.
But and I still have bulbs to plant in my garden, and bulbs are still going in Becky's garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the saying about the cobbler's kids have no shoes?
That's right.
Well, we can't get into the garden. We can't
Right.
get. All right. Thanks so much, Brent. Take it easy. Thanks for coming in.
See you later.
And thank you for joining us for this latest edition of Tête-à-Tête. We thank you for joining us. We hope you're learning a lot, and we'll see you next time. Have a great one.
Thank you for joining us today on Tête-à-Tête. You can subscribe to this program by finding us on your favorite podcast platform, like iTunes, Spotify, and more. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just search for Brent and Becky's. Until next time, let's get out there and make the world more beautiful. We'll see you next time on Tête-à-Tête.